Hi everybody, this is Toffee bringing you Chapter 8, Part 2 of my Fire Emblem 4 LTC. We've got our dancer, we've got our rescue staff, and we have our promoted Leif, so things are about to get crazy over here. Uniquely, this time around, we start off holding two castles. Most of our army starts in Ulster, but Leif, Nanna, and Finn start off holding the Leinster Castle, which makes them key players in this map. We warp Seliph immediately over there, which is a very straightforward move. After her important plays last map, Lana now slides into irrelevance. She will raise money in order to buy and use the sleep staff in the future, but otherwise she's just aiming to level cap. Paddy gives Lester 1500 gold, which will let him reach 40,000 gold to buy the Paragon ring for his arena run. We can't really send Lelia over to Leinster to get anything useful done on this turn, so we have her dance at home. Lester will then begin his arena run. I'll put a timestamp for the end of it in the description. Leify is warped to Leinster as an extra combatant with 9 move, but this is not strictly necessary. If you were to do the non-Canto storage version of Chapter 7, Leif would not be promoted, and you would instead have Nanna return him home to finish his arena run, promote, and buy the rescue stuff, and then have him be the second unit warped to Leinster, after which the strategy would mostly be the same. Finn would take over what Oifi does after the first castle. Oifi and Seliph set up a rescue tile minute for Finn. It's not strictly needed, but might as well. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but the rescue staff has a fixed 1 to 10 range in this game. Nanna then does her arena run. She has to do it in one go, so we don't worry too much about her level ups. I'll put a timestamp for the end of the run in the description. Ahmed has a conversation with Fee, which gives them love points and also plus 3 HP on Fee, so we have him walk out to talk to her turn 2. We want Iucharba to eventually buy the Paragon Ring for his arena run, but we have some time before that, so we have Diarmid buy the Paragon Ring, follow-up ring, and return ring to fight the enemy army close to Ulster. They're quite high leveled, and Diarmid can kill some enemies with the Brave Sword and follow-up. We'll also send out several other units to grab some EXP there as well. Ares buys the Thief's Sword to grab some money. While he will be able to afford Paragon for the next map, we want him to spend some money for Chapter 10. So for the rank run, we'd like to get some extra spending money on him. You would expect that we would buy the Night Ring on Lelia immediately, but we actually did not do that. The way this clear works out, Lelia does not need Canto for the best turn count. For a while, I thought a certain side objective could be achieved with Night Ring on Lelia, but it turns out this map won't let us get it at LTC pace anyway. Instead, we give her some money so she can buy the Paragon Ring for the next chapter's arena, and we split up the transfers for more EXP. On this enemy phase, Finn gets the Javelin to crit. He does cleanly wander on the Lance Knights regardless, but he needs either the Brave Lance or a crit weapon for turn 3 of this map, and as you could see, he did not have a chance until now to access the Pawnbroker. Finn does have too much defense for the Troubadours to attack him. The Triangle Attack Maid Sisters are back again, though they have no plot armor this time around. Finn moves forward but stays out of range of the Maid Sisters. Lelia gets warped to Leinster turn 2, and we can see the power of a Master Knight with the rescue staff with a Dancer. Moving forward, we rig resistance levels on Leif to hit the 16 res benchmark, and somewhat greedily, I also rigged a lot of magic on Leif. This was not really necessary. I think Leif only sees significant combat after this in Chapter 10, and in fact, I figured out how to reduce the amount of combat he would have to see on that map anyway. Seliph has the 100 kill Javelin for now, and we will have him sit next to the choke point by the bridge to help clear out the way for next turn. Leif also will get a lot of value out of the return ring for the rest of the generation by usually going home around the time of a castle being seized and then getting warped to the castle. Fee flies due east in order to help out with the final castle of the map. This is the one enemy phase we can really engage the squad near Alster, and we set up Diarmid in front to grab a few kills with Paragon, earning a lot of EXP. Nanna's charm does help a bit here since Lelia needs to dodge either a Siege Tome or the Troubadour. This general drops the Brave Bow. The sisters do get off a triangle attack, but Selef's Naiho blocks it. Ares gets 1 kill here along with 2000 gold. We had to rig him a double adept proc to make that work, combined with a good level up. Our lead squad form up for a dance in front of the bridge. In general, I have Skahak head out and farm EXP during Generation 2, with Larse usually staying back as a backup iron burner. This is because there is a certain EXP opportunity late in Generation 2 that Larse is far better at exploiting than her brother. Leif does his arena run now. I'll have a timestamp for the end in the description, though it's interspersed with other actions. Along the way, we have Shannon chip down the boss near Alster to set him up for Leicester. We actually missed some strength procs on him for this purpose. Jarmud will also get 1 final kill and then return home. Self seizes Connacht. It's just turn 3, and the eventing in this chapter did not expect us to move this fast. There will be units that spawn from Connacht on later turns. Nanna will send Self home in order to clear the castle as a warp destination, and Leif will be warped there. Leif will then rescue Lelia closer to the front, and then Canto as far forward as we can legally go, since a bridge is missing. I intentionally had Finn kill the castle guard from that spot to show off something funny. That's right, FE4 has unit stacking. Febail reinforces in on turn 3 enemy phase, and he's affiliated with Connacht, which has already been seized, so he shows up as a yellow unit. He won't move or attack of his own volition, though you can fight him. Febail is the son of Midir and Bridget, and we need to get Patty over to him to recruit him. If we were to recruit Patty over immediately, she would actually not be able to talk to him until we moved Finn off of his square. Far to the south, Meath Castle deploys several squads of Thracian Draconites to the field. Amongst them is Altena, the daughter of Quan and Ethlin, though we can't fight her on this map. Somewhat frustratingly, while we get access to the rest of the map on the next turn, the mountain range to the right that Altena's crew will fly over is marked as untraversable by our units until a certain event that plays later in the map. And as a result, we cannot have Fee fly over them. There is a village on the far east of the map with a Thieves' Ring, which would give a unit the ability to steal money from all their opponents, which would have been an interesting item to grab, but ultimately we can't get it at LTC pace because of this eventing. In the middle of the map, Munster Castle goes from red to green. Lewin and Aranis' son Sed liberates it, and a number of civilians run out from it. They will start running to the north, and we obviously want to grab the free EXP. Finn gets a chance to visit Connacht Castle on this turn, and can finish his arena and turn in his javelin. We have him run to the south, but if we couldn't warp Oifi, we would have him run to the left instead in order to grab the Power Ring village that Oifi is going to go for. Selef will then take Finn's javelin to continue building kills on it across this map and the next, since Draconites are rather weak enemies and are great fodder for the javelin. Leif, Lelia, and Selef will charge forward, and Selef can reach Munster Castle on this turn to talk to Sed and recruit him. Sed has follow-up, adept, and critical, and will bring us a lightning tome, allowing Julia to finally fight in the arena. We want him to grind down some uses on it so she can actually buy it though, since she has less than 5,000 gold in her wallet. Sed can delete anything he cares to thanks to Fersetti, though it often runs into zero hit AI, and being a foot unit, he can't really get to the front much. Sed's overkill combat will come into play in Chapter 10, where we will face a very difficult boss. Being a sage, he also has B staves, which lets him use status staves. Sed actually has an associated glitch where his speed will overflow and wrap around to being very low if we were to save and reset in an unpatched game, so we will take care not to reset for the rest of the run. Jarma turns in his Paragon Ring for Iucharba to buy and start his arena run. Since Iucharba is still on Arenberg duty, he won't finish his whole arena immediately, and will break it up. Iucharba will be the Paragon carrier into the next map, and as such, will have some spare cash, and along the way he will buy the Brave Axe to improve his arena performance, and it is probably what makes the Swordmaster fight even doable for him. I'll have a timestamp for the end of this partial run in the description. Iucharba finishes fight 6 by that point. Fee engages the left Draco squad on this turn and can kill all but 2 of them. The magic we've been rigging on her comes into play as she can actually kill the generics without crits. To recruit Febail, we need his sister to talk some sense into him. Febail has follow-up and onslaught, though being a sniper, he's not exactly great at farming EXP. However, Generation 2 has plenty more civilians than Generation 1, and we will actually be able to cap Febail's level in ranked. He will immediately visit the arena at Connacht, where he needs to clear the whole arena in one go. Because his parents maxed their wallets, and Bridget passed him a few bows, he will actually be able to buy the Paragon ring starting next chapter, and we can even get him 1 civilian on this map. If he had Eufil, I would have more confidently sold his bows on this map, as Eufil is a good enough arena trump card. I'll have a timestamp for the end of his run in the description. We can join in on the dance formation on this turn. If we had the Night Ring on Lelia, we could actually have had her help rescue boost Fee forward with Leif rescuing Fee on his second action on this turn, which would put her 16 squares away from the Thieves' Ring village. Unfortunately, the untraversable mountains prevent her from actually reaching the village in 2 turns of movement, which was a real disappointment. Nanna actually has a conversation with Ares that we could theoretically get on this map, but it would be worse overall for EXP distribution, so we don't bother. It would give Nanna some love points with Ares and some minor stat boosts. Fee will wait near Altena squad, but only a couple of the enemies will bite and actually attack her. You can see the untraversable tiles on the mountains there. I have Leif put Lelia in the mountains where she's safer, and Seliph will get to the Ballista Wall and break the first layer. The cost of not having the Night Ring on Lelia is ultimately an extra rescue use on Leif. Seliph's position lets him enemy phase the southern Draco squad with the Javelin. Ishtar shows up near Connacht and she's carrying Mjolnir. Much like Febail, she thankfully won't attack, but she does have some money for Paddy to steal and EXP for anybody who can defeat her. On turn 6, we will clean up. While the map is a little too long for a 5 turn, especially given the too thick ballista wall blocking the path, a 6 turn is pretty easy. Nanna hits level 20 and is ready to promote for next chapter. Sed will do his arena run and he will use lightning in order to burn uses for Julia. Afterwards, Julia, Iucharba, and Larse will finish their arena runs. Patty will use the sleep edge to steal from Ishtar. Any other weapon would cause her to die horribly. And with the Night Ring, she can visit the village as well. The boss of the final castle would drop the killer bow if we hadn't passed it down to Febail, and if Seliph had a full inventory and got the item drop, we actually would not be able to convoy warp it due to some bad programming, and as a result, Seliph would have 8 items in his inventory. This could delete your save file if you save with it, and this could possibly permit some kind of buffer overflow, but that's not for me to explore. Anyway, that'll be chapter 8 in 6 turns. See you next time!